And now, number one. No, that's not number one. Oh, seems to be anticlimactic there, but Larry, you played the wrong song.
I'm Scott Scarboro. I live here in New Albany. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. My public art piece was Time Ghost Tower Cast. And when people would drive by this large pipe, the radio was taken over by the broadcast that I had on coming from this pipe. The soundtracks were made up of archival historical newspapers or previously recorded radio broadcasts from the 1940s that I found. I wanted to tell stories of New Albany with this piece, and it was just something I thought I had to do was to go to a library or go to the Filson Historical Society and just dive into their newspapers, and that's where I started. Was looking in old newspapers for stories of the people, of things that happened, and I just stumbled upon really these some cassettes of the Indiana Historical Society. They had monthly meetings, and one of their events that they had where people would sit around and read these newspapers, the historical Indiana New Albany newspapers, and they recorded them. So I used some of those into this in these collages of these people just reading the headlines and these stories of people and whose birthday it was. And one of them was one of my favorite, actually, was someone reading the story about New Albany's centennial celebration. They talked about all the flags are going to come out, and in this one verse of it, this one sentence was that the city will awaken from its slumber. And it went on to go about celebrating the birthday of the city. And I just love that line. So in one of the collages, you hear it repeated over and over again, that the city will awaken from its slumber. The city will awaken from its slumber.
A great many of our citizens have signified their intention to illuminate their residences and business houses. It would be fitting for those who feel able to do so to exhibit their patriotism by displaying going to spread herself suitable to the centennial. Albany is going to spread herself. Let the city be aroused from its slumber. Let the city be aroused holiday dress and show the country what they can do when they try.
I found out also that Bob Edwards from NPR got his start in New Albany from WHEL radio, and after reaching out to him several times, I finally got him to agree to help me out, and he read some newspaper articles and a few advertisements about some of the businesses in New Albany.
New grocery and meat store. Misters Wolf and Park have started a new grocery and meat store at the corner of Upper 3rd and Elm Streets, where our citizens can be supplied with the choicest groceries and the freshest meats in the market. Fresh meat can be had at the same price offered at the market, and it can be had at any hour in the day. This will be a convenience to the people living in the neighborhood. New Albany Ledger Standard, 27 April, 1875. A queer accident. Charlie Moser, a young son of Mr. M. Moser, got a watermelon seed in his windpipe, or more properly speaking, trachea, this morning, which nearly resulted in the death of the child. Violent coughing set in, and his throat swelled to twice its usual size. Doctors Clapp and Sloan were called and succeeded in alleviating the pain and preventing immediate danger. This afternoon the boy was feeling well enough to be about, but as the seed had not been removed further, trouble is apprehended. A New Albany Tribune Daily Ledger Standard, August 23, 1876.
Well, once I collected all these materials, these sound sources, I knew in my mind that I had to do a little something different to them. I just didn't want it to be just a flat recording of these sounds. And I always thought about history and ghosts and spirits flying around, and that kind of tied in also with my ideas of radio transmissions and just these things floating around in the sky and the air around us all the time. So a lot of these sounds that I used are there's a lot of reverb and a lot of repetition and a lot of echo, and these things just kind of float in and out. None of it sounds really concrete. Even there's one that utilizes steamboat whistles, and I slowed it down so it sounds like maybe a ghost wailing in the background. I just think about these spirits of the past, and all these sounds and textures. I want them to paint pictures in your mind, and each person that experiences this would have their own unique experience.